I was casting a line from my private dock when Karen Miller, HOA tyrant, stormed up with a phone to her ear, calling the cops to report me for illegal fishing on my own lake. Her 911 call was a flare aimed at sinking my peace. Karen, who'd sold my land while I was deployed, banned my little free library, and ignored me at the shooting range, had no idea my security cameras caught her trespassing on my dock. I was Sarah, the 20-year-old farmer, Meadow Mart owner, conservationist, SWAT trainer, tech founder, federal health inspector, sharpshooter Marine, county sheriff, 911 dispatcher, retired federal judge, police chief, Homeland Security agent, developer who built Crescent Meadows, designer of its security system, owner of the lake, dock, and HOA, and a self-taught mechanical engineer. Her cop call wasn't just baseless, it was harassment, and I was about to turn her stunt into a viral smackdown with my lake deed as the hook. I stood on my dock, phone filming as neighbors, pinged by my security app, gathered furious. This wasn't just a call, it was Karen's most ridiculous assault, blind to my ownership. My heart thundered, but a sly grin spread. She thought she could bust me for fishing? I was about to reel in her scheme with a sheriff's badge and community roar. What unfolded wasn't just keeping my fishing rights. It was a masterclass in righteous justice, community strength, and comedic takedown that left Karen gutted, her HOA shattered, and Crescent Meadows cheering. My lake wasn't just water, it was her undoing, and my response was the catch. Karen's call was her lamest mistake, and our counterstrike was about to make waves. Crescent Meadows was a vibrant suburb, its blooming fields, bustling markets, and my Meadow Mart Cafe, a fierce stand against Karen Miller's HOA tyranny. Once choked by rules on unauthorized lake activities and improper docks, it now thrived, with my 50-acre state-leased ranch and private lake on unincorporated county land as its heart. My lake, a serene expanse I owned, had a dock wired with my Crescent Code security system, cameras and sensors I designed, perfect for fishing bluefins. I'm Sarah, the 20-year-old farmer, conservationist, SWAT trainer, Meadow Mart owner, tech founder of Crescent Code, federal health inspector, sharpshooter, Marine, county sheriff, 911 dispatcher, retired federal judge, police chief, Homeland Security agent, developer who built Crescent Meadows, designer of its security system, owner of the lake, dock, and HOA, and a self-taught mechanical engineer with a fictional ageless fire. I'd crushed Karen 77 times, buying Meadow Mart after her farm stand ban, exposing her assault on Lily, stopping her fishing derby, evicting her fishing club, jailing fake HOA cops, rallying for a pilot's defiance, retrieving my tow tractor, shutting down her cop call on my fence, backing Ibrahim Traore, ejecting her security patrol, protecting the Thompsons, winning court for my wrecked car, defending my mom's cold stand, exposing her 911 call on Senator Ellison, grounding her, airline stunt, nailing her bank meddling, restoring my water pipe, towing her SUV, saving my mom's nurse, rescuing Emma from her kidnapping, saving Liam from her brick attack, foiling her field grab, scaring her with my bear, Bruno, defending Emma's wheelchair, stopping her 911 call on my ranch, saving Max from her clippers, voiding her lake fine, saving my pool party, recovering my stolen truck, foiling her power theft, stopping her sewage-powered lights, disarming her fake cop, rebuilding my sister's bridge, proving I owned her mortgage, stopping her assault on Alex, ejecting her trespassing officers, shutting off her pipeline, proving my Lamborghini legit, turning my lawn into an obstacle course, outshooting the FBI, stopping her fake cop arrest, handling her 911 abuse, rescuing my kids from her kidnapping, towing her Mustangs from my garage, trapping her at her gate, burying her porch in mulch, spiking her SUV on my lawn, closing her trails for my hunting, proving I built the suburb, jailing her for hitting Max, rebuilding the Thompsons' house, turning her trails into my hunting ground, catching her spying on my yard, suspending her board for burning my boat, nailing her for her 911 call on my rain tanks, foiling her eviction over my cabin, burying her in pennies for her fines, towing her car for blocking my driveway, reclaiming my cabin after her sale, sinking her cop's truck with Grandpa's tractor, evicting her fishing club with Marcus, arresting her for breaking into my garage, busting her 911 call on my pool, stopping her fake cop arrest, seizing her HOA with my deed clause, crushing her motorbike ban, locking her pool access, charging her for felling my tree, returning her trash with interest, nailing her for my gym's 911 call, defending Marcus's home from her 911 stunt, backing Marcus at his pool, stopping fake cops from tossing Alex, evicting her clubhouse for trespassing, jailing her for packing Liam's room, exposing an engine's sabotage, building a public library after her book ban, reclaiming my ranch with the military, and breaking a shooting record. My sheriff powers and lake ownership were my latest weapons. Karen Miller, mid-50s, was a frantic bully, her clipboard a flimsy prop. Exiled and bankrupted, she called the cops on me for fishing, unaware my lake was private and cameras rolled. Her scheme, backed by a ragged HOA board, relied on fake fishing permits, blind to my deeds. Key allies included Alex, my Delta Force operative wife, Marcus Thompson, Navy SEAL and lake co-owner, Mia, my nurse sister, Jake, my Marine brother, Vince, Iron Riders biker leader, Ellen, my sharpshooter mom, Tom, my biologist friend, Linda, the councilwoman, Lily, my waitress-turned-leader, Liam, my 8-year-old son, Grandpa Joe, our tractor-driving patriarch, and Deputy Harris, my SWAT deputy. Agent Laura Chun, my FBI contact, was ready to escalate. The Crescent Meadows Forum, our digital hub, would amplify the fight. The setting was a bright March morning in 2026 on my lake's dock, where Karen's call echoed and my cameras recorded. Neighbors, alerted by my app, gathered in rage. Karen's cop call was a scam, and her ignorance of my ownership was her fatal error. This wasn't just about fishing, it was Karen's assault on my rights. For me, it was a chance to protect my lake, expose her crime, and unite Crescent Meadows. As I filmed, I knew this fight would echo our victories and ripple with our spirit. Karen's 911 call was a brazen lie. Illegal fishing, she told dispatch, claiming my lake required an HOA permit. I filmed, voice firm, "This is my lake, Karen. Your call's harassment." My cameras caught her on my dock. I radioed Harris, who growled, "False reporting and trespassing? She's cuffed." Ellen texted my lake deed, saying Karen's hooked. Linda vowed to bring county officials, noting, "Calling cops on a sheriff? Jail." I called Chun, who snapped, "This is FBI-level abuse of emergency services." Neighbors swarmed, filming Karen's tantrum. My forum post exploded. Karen called the cops on me for fishing. I'm shutting her down. Hashtags Karen versus Lake and hashtag Sarah Casts Back trended, hitting 265 million views. Jake livestreamed from Meadowmart, showing my footage and deed. Crescent Meadows fishes with Sarah, he said, hitting 270 million views. Lily handed out flyers about property laws, explaining Sarah owns the lake. Karen's a liar. Karen's HOA cronies, a duo with signs, "Permit required," tried to defend her, but neighbors drowned them out, chanting Sarah's lake. Mia shared my sheriff credentials, proving my authority. I share my clip. Karen's cop calls a scam. I own this lake. The video hit 4.1 billion views. Marcus arrived, saying, "She targeted my lake rights too. I'm testifying." His SEAL presence rattled the cronies. Harris's SWAT team and Chen's FBI unit arrived, reviewing the call log. "False report," Chun said, noting my ownership. I flashed my sheriff badge, live streaming. Karen called the cops on me for fishing. She's facing charges. The stream hit 19.5 billion views, with news vans circling. Comments flooded. "Sarah's a hero. Karen's done." Linda arrived with a county prosecutor, announcing Karen's call as felony misuse of 911. The crowd chanted "Fish, fish," as the cronies fled. The FBI found Karen on my dock, clutching a fake permit rule. Harris detained her as I held up my fishing rod, live streaming. "This lake's mine, and Karen's busted." Karen rambled, "It's our lake," but Chun held up my deed and footage. "You're under federal arrest," she said. The forum planned a fish-free day at my lake with fishing contests and music. Karen's lie about permits collapsed. My deed was airtight. The stage was set, not just to keep fishing, but to crush her reign and rally crescent meadows around my lake. Her call was her end, and my justice was our catch. My dock was a fortress of justice. Karen stood detained by my lake, trembling, as Harris and Chun reviewed her fake rule. My fishing rod rested, while neighbors rallied on the shore. The live stream hit 20.5 billion views, with hashtag Karen vs. Lake and hashtag Sarah Castback trending globally. Neighbors packed the lakefront, waving signs, Sarah's Lake. No HOA lies. News crews broadcast live, anchors calling it a sheriff's lake versus HOA fraud. The air roared, and I was ready to land Karen's scheme. Tom addressed the crowd, voice steady. Sarah owns the lake, HOA exempt. Karen's 911 call is felony harassment. He showed my footage and deed, proving her crime. Neighbors cheered, sharing the clips online. Ellen handed out flyers, saying, Sarah's sheriff, protecting our lake. Karen's a trespasser. The forum surged. Karen's a fraud. Sarah's our hero. A viral tweet read, HOA calls cops on woman for fishing. She owns the lake. Hashtag Sarah casts back. Karen yelled, it's our permit. But Shin held up my footage, stating, you committed trespassing and false reporting. Her face crumpled. She hadn't known my cameras. Fishing clubs joined X, posting, Karen's attack on Sarah's lake is a disgrace. Support Crescent Meadows. The Change.org petition, Justice for Sarah's Lake, hit 270 million signatures, with comments like Sarah's a legend and Karen's done. Linda spoke to reporters, voice firm. Sarah's lake and leadership are our pride. Karen's call threatens our freedom. She announced a council motion to fine the HOA $4.8 million and dissolve it. The crowd roared, chanting fish free. The HOA leaked texts disavowing Karen. She's rogue. Neighbors guarded my dock, as Vince's biker crew patrolled the shore. I grabbed the megaphone, heart pounding. Karen called the cops on me for fishing, but I'm sheriff, I own the lake, and she's charged. I proposed a fish-free day at my lake with fishing, music, and a fundraiser for lake conservation, inviting all. The crowd cheered, volunteering to host. I shared online. Karen's call failed. Join us for Fish Free Day. The live stream hit 21.5 billion views, with hashtag FishFreeDay trending. Comments flooded. Sarah's unstoppable. Karen sunk. Karen made a last stand, yelling at Chun, I'm in charge. But Rachel, my attorney, arrived with a federal indictment. You're charged with trespass, false reporting, and harassment, she said, as Harris tightened her cuffs. The crowd parted, phones filming as I cast another line, pulling in a blue fin. Jake's stream hit 41 billion views, with comments like, bye, Karen. Lake wins. News ran headlines. Sheriff defeats HOA for fishing on her lake. Lily organized kids to paint fish-free signs, while Tom tied it to my lake's ecosystem, saying, Sarah protects our waters. Harris secured the dock, and neighbors cheered as fish jumped. Chun verified my deed, and Linda promised county funding for a crescent wave sign, marking my lake status. The stage was set for a victory that would protect my fishing, end Karen's reign, and show Crescent Meadows' power. Karen was cuffed, but my response would shock everyone. The federal courthouse roared with justice as Karen faced trial, my lake sparkling outside. The live stream hit 42 billion views, with hashtag Karen vs. Lake and hashtag Sarah Castback trending worldwide. Neighbors packed the gallery, waving fish-free signs as news crews filmed. I stood in my sheriff uniform, my roles as sheriff, lake owner, and HOA owner now a verdict, our evidence our blade, ready to bury Karen. Judge Alvarez, a federal veteran, called order. Ms. Miller, you're charged with trespass, false reporting, and harassment, he said. Rachel presented my footage, showing Karen on my dock. The plaintiff owns the lake, she said. The gallery cheered, phones filming for the forum, where comments surged. Karen's done. Sarah's our hero. Chun testified, voice sharp. Karen's 911 call violated federal laws, abusing emergency services. She showed the fake rule, sparking gasps. Linda announced the council's $4.8 million HOA fine and dissolution. The crowd chanted "Lake, Lake," as kids waved painted fish, symbols of our win. Tom showed my deed and lake records, proving my ownership. "Sarah's lake sank her," he said, sparking applause. I unveiled a crescent waves sign sketch, county-backed, to mark my lake. "This lake's mine, and Karen's guilty," I said, sharing it online, a wave under a federal seal. The forum erupted. "Perfect. Sarah's legacy." Alvarez reviewed the evidence. Footage, deed, rule, calling it irrefutable. Karen, pleading not guilty, claimed it's HOA policy. But Rachel played her 911 call, exposing her lies. Alvarez ruled, guilty on all counts. 12 years for Miller, $6.1 million in damages to Sarah, and HOA dissolution. The gallery roared as Karen slumped, broken. My digital dossier, footage, deed, indictments, was handed to the press, ensuring conviction. News ran it live. Sheriff defeats HOA for fishing on her lake. The crowd surged, music blaring, as Fish-Free Day plans took shape. I gave the mic to Marcus, who grinned. "Sarah's lake is our pride," he said. Neighbors hugged him, guarding my dock in solidarity. This wasn't just Karen's defeat. It was Crescent Meadows' triumph, proof our community could outshine fraud. As my lake stood free, justice landed. Karen's conviction was Crescent Meadows' victory. News ran headlines like "Sheriff defeats HOA for fishing on her lake," and "Sarah's Waves triumph." The live stream hit 45 billion views, with hashtag #SarahCastBack trending for weeks. Fan art of the wave sign as a justice symbol flooded the forum, and fishing clubs invited me to speak. Talk shows called, but I stayed grounded, saying this is about our lake. Fish-Free Day was a sensation. Thousands joined, neighbors, kids, Harris's team, fishing, dancing, and unveiling the Crescent Wave sign. Meadowmart catered, and Tom led eco talks, tying the lake to our unity. The event raised $23.5 million for lake conservation, and state leaders hailed it as a model. The forum buzzed with photos. "Sarah's lake shines. No more Karens." The HOA was eradicated. Linda's vote fined at $4.8 million and dissolved it, with new laws banning false 911 calls. Karen got 12 years, was banned from Crescent Meadows, and vanished to a prison cell, reportedly arguing over rules. "Don't call like Karen" became a local joke painted on docks. My lake became a tourist draw, with visitors snapping wave selfies. Meadowmart and My Lake event soared, the cafe hosting waves nights with music and conservation talks. Tourists flocked to Sarah's lake, boosting sales. Neighbors brought gifts, many fish sheriff patches, saying my fight inspired them. Tom's data showed the lake thriving, celebrated at a community feast. The digital dossier, footage, deed, verdicts was studied for property rights laws, influencing policy. Lily mentored kids, painting eco signs for the lake. The forum planned a Waves Fest, with fishing, music, and SWAT demos, cementing our spirit. Sarah turned Karen's call into our triumph. One post read, "I hired teens to patrol the lake, giving them pride." At the fest, under a Waves Forever banner, Linda toasted, "To Sarah, Marcus, Alex, and Crescent Meadows, where lakes defeat tyrants." Fireworks burst, kids danced, and my lake glowed. Karen's call had been a ripple, but we built a legacy. My lake, Meadowmart, and our suburb were our stronghold, proof no bully could hook our freedom. As stars shone, I knew Crescent Meadows would always stand proud, free, and unstoppable.